Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a fun fold card. This is called a book binding fun fold card. It has a binding like a book and you open it up and it has your message. I made this more manly than I usually do just because I don't have very much experience nor supply of cards that I'd feel comfortable giving to a male. So this here is one in like an olive green, tan, and it has a bunny rabbit, but it's very simple and neutral colors. So let's begin. First, we are going to need a piece of cardstock to make our card. It is going to be a 5.5 by 8.5, and then we're going to score it. Get my score buddy out, and we're going to line it up in the corner, and then we're going to score it at 3 inches and again at 4.5 inches. Okay, get this out of the way, and then we're going to go ahead and fold in our creases. Okay, so that when we fold the card, it folds in, we tack it down there, and then this here is the part of the book that we use. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use some liquid glue. I like to use art glitter, a designer adhesive. It dries clear. It gives you a few seconds to move around your cardstock before it's set in stone. And it comes with a fine tip, which I really like to use. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just put this down to adhere it. All right, so let's get some more down in there. There we go. And then we just close it in on itself like this. Okay, and then just take your varnishing tool, if I can find mine. Here it is. Okay, and then just crease it down some. And then I like to go over the area that's glued. Okay, so our card part is done. And then we're going to take a piece of the olive green cardstock, which is 1 inch by 5.25. You will find all these dimensions down in the bottom in the description box. And I'm just going to go ahead and use glue here too. It is a little bit faster than using tear tape, but I use both. Just depends on my mood and how I'm doing the card. Okay. Go slide it down again. There we go. And there's our book binding part. Now we're going to take another piece of cardstock. This is 2 3/4 by 5.25, and you'll see I have already the tear tape on it. So we're going to remove part of the tear tape and make it easy for us to line up like it's supposed to. So we're gonna take off that part and fold it out to the side so we have a tab. And then the opposite side, on the opposite end, we're going to remove that part and fold the tab out to the side. And this helps us position it and remove it if need be. So we want to try and line it up with our other piece of cardstock and have about the same width on both sides. And there we go. Once we have it, just go ahead and smooth it down. Take your tab, pull it, and then adhere that side down. Take your tab, pull it, and adhere that side down. Now we have the front of the card. Now we're going to take another piece of cardstock, which is, it is tan with darker shades of brown, kind of like sponged on. It's not a true pattern, it's random. But it kind of reminds me of a sandy beach where there's a little bit of dirt mixed in. So I'm going to remove the sides of this and make a tab. And this is going to go in the inside of our card as a mat so that we can put another piece on top of that to put our sentiment on. So there we go. We got that lined up. We'll remove that side and this side. Now this piece here is what we're going to put our sentiment on. So I have chosen to use Stampin' Up. It's a crumb cake color, which is the same color as what we're using for our sentiment. However, it shows up, but it's just not overwhelming. Like a very high contrast. It's a low contrast, which is what I'm looking for this card. Okay, we'll stamp that on. Hold it there for a little bit and then remove it. All right, and the reason why I'm stamping this outside of the card is because if I make a mistake, I can always start over on this. But if I make the mistake after it's already glued on, I am out of luck. I just destroyed my whole card and have to start completely over. So this one I'm going to go ahead and use the tear tape for. I used to put it all the way around on all four sides. But depending on how you're using the card and what embellishments and things like that you're going to put on top of it, it's not really necessary. But if you're putting some heavy stuff on top, you may want to use all four sides. But if not, then you could just use two sides of the tape. Whatever sides are the longest is what I go with. That is totally up to you. And when you're placing down, make sure you try and get it in the center as much as possible. And then press your corners. And then pull up to remove that tape. And pull down to remove the other side. And there is our sentiment. And it does say, sending warm and happy wishes this spring, since I am making an Easter card. Okay, so the next part is where we're going to finish up the front of the card. So I've decided to use the same color again, the crumb cake. And I'm placing this on the paper that has the background to it, which is that sandy look. It does go with the green and the tan really well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. And hopefully I didn't just cut off the bunny's hair and have to redo it again. Oh no, I did it good. So that one there, like I said, it's not a high contrast color, but it does have some contrast to it. So it does stand out a little bit, just not a high contrast, if that makes any sense. So we're going to go ahead and remove this center. I hope you can see all this. The center tab right here, remove that completely because that's going to tack that down. And the reason why I'm putting a little bit more adhesive on this is because it's going to be on the front of the card. And it deals more wear and tear than any other part of the card, and we don't want it to fall off. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it on a black background. This piece here is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I made the frame for it 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then we want to center that on there the best that we can. All right, that looks good to me. At least to my eyes today. I mean, they are working a little bit better than normal. But it's still hard sometimes for me to line things up. Just because when I go to focus on it, it sometimes disappears on me. Okay, so we're going to take off all 3 of these tabs because it's not as easy to pull the tabs off of foam tape. So I have 1/4 inch foam tape down in 3 spots. Like I said, I want it to be stuck good. So you take this and we're going to line it up to the front top right hand corner and put that there. There we go. And then we're going to take another sentiment and do that in crumb cake as well. And this here says, Happy Easter, my friend. Okay, we're going to line that up, and we're just going to put that down right there. Now, on my card, I ended up adding embellishments, which I'm glad I did because I like the way it looks. However, I did it to cover up mistakes. That's one good thing about making cards yourself. And it not having to be perfect. There's always something that you can do to cover up that mistake. So right here, I don't know if you can see it, I got some random ink down. So I'm just going to put that jewel right there on top of that. Voila, it's fixed. But remember, when you're dealing with embellishments, you always want to put them in odd numbers. Now, I don't think that looks very good, just having that one there, because I did it in that spot just because I made a mistake. So we're going to put one up here and put another one, let's say over here. There we go. So that dresses up the front of that card, if you can see that. And then we open it up and we have our greeting in the inside. Now, I thought we could dress it up just a little bit more. So I took some green ribbon. It's like a twine. I got this from Stampin' Up! As well. And let's see, let's make it a little bit longer and do that. Okay, so now I'm going to put this here in the inside of the card. Oops, as you can see, I made it a little too small. But let's see if we can get it anyways. And I'm just going to tie a knot. I know my hands are in the way and you can't really see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing is tying a knot. There we go. Okay, we're going to scooch that down closer to the binding. And there we go. Now you can trim your ends if you want. This kind of ribbon doesn't really show an angle cut very well, but we just want to trim it off. And there we go. There is a Easter card that's good enough. Well, I don't want to really say good enough, but it is neutral enough that it can be given to a male or a female. And it's a fun fold, and it only took just a little bit of our time. I would say maybe with designing and cutting and prepping, it might take a half an hour. But just putting it all together, just to assemble it, it takes maybe 5-6 minutes. I hope you enjoyed watching this fun fold card be put together. If you could, please take a moment and like my video and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next week. And I haven't decided what we're going to do yet, so it's going to be a surprise. See you then. Bye.